Welcome everyone. Today I will show you how to enjoy the accelerated dragon, how to understand everything what we have to play, and how to beat your opponent, because I believe that the most important in chess theory is not memory, but it's important to understand the positions, the plans, piece placement, exchange, threats, and all together. If you have these knowledges, you are able to beat your opponent and you are able to improve your chess. So we are in the main position of accelerated dragon, and mostly here black is going to play move bishop g7 first and then knight f6, and that's the main position. I will tell you why it's a mistake to play firstly knight f6. Please remember that in our variations we are waiting for move knight c6. Usually is a mistake here to take by a d pawn, because this endgame is bad for black. Maybe bishop c4, f3, bishop anywhere, long castle, and black is worst in all variation. White is playing this position without any risk, and I believe that this is not exactly the way where black is hoping for counterattack and good position. So for this reason, here black will take by a b pawn. We are playing e5. Knight d5 is the main option. Maybe knight h5. I believe that this knight on h5 is really bad. Bishop e2 is a good answer, and knight g8 here it's too passive. Maybe is going to our main variation. So let's understand what's going on. Knight d5, exchange, queen d5, rook b8, e6. And now black is nearly lost. Okay, just imagine he is going to take pawn on e6 and queen e5. We are the winner because we are going to take at least one rook, and this game is lost for black. Okay, maybe bishop g7 here, but I don't believe that black is happy, because even this position is lost. Black has a big difficulties to survive, and that's a bad position anyway. For this reason, we understand that black has to bring first bishop to g7. We are playing bishop e3 and we are waiting for a move knight f6. That's anyway the main position of the accelerated dragon, and I believe that it's exciting to take on c6. So once again, to take by a d pawn, it's a bad endgame for black, maybe because of long castle. Just imagine that black is going to c7, but it doesn't matter. Even is going to e8, it's bad, because that's not good endgame. White has advantage, stronger pieces, activity, and that's a bad. But just for your fun, here's a check, and maybe rook d4, and it's nearly checkmate. Say maybe rook g8 is a checkmate in one. So yes, that's a bad every times to play this endgame, and for this reason black is taking usually with b pawn, and we are starting our position with move e5. Of course, knight h5, it's a mistake because of g4. White won a piece and white is winning. It's a simple. So black has only two ways how to play this position: knight g8 and knight d5. Knight d5 is more double-edged position, because black is going to sacrifice a pawn for counterattack. Knight g8, it's more solid, but I will show you what to play here. So knight d5. Okay, if black is going to sacrifice pawn, let's take this pawn, and here I believe that the strongest move here is bishop c4. Long castle is not bad at all, but bishop c4, it's our main theory. Yes, that's a checkmate threat on f7. Normal here that black is going for a short castle, but maybe e6 will tell you that that's bad because we have chance to go queen c5 and we don't want to allow black to go for short castle. Okay, maybe bishop b7 and long castle, rook c8, queen b4. Still, we don't want to allow black to go for short castle. Maybe bishop g2, bishop b5 anyway, and that's a good bishop d5. Maybe c4 or here, and still I don't believe that that's a good position for black. Maybe c4. Why not to go for c4? And it's a double edge because black's king is in the middle. So let's understand that move e6 here is a bad move. And normal here is, of course, bishop b7 is bad because of checkmate. So I believe that short castle is the best. Now long castle, main position. We are playing position with extra pawn, and black has a chance to go bishop b7, maybe d6, or the best is queen c7. Bishop b7, I believe that everything is fine. After queen d7, maybe queen a5, of course, just to take here, take bishop g2 and rook g1, bishop f3. With extra pawn, I don't believe that here black's got any compensation for a missing pawn. That's great to see that this variation is working. So, okay, once more and slowly. e4, c5, g6, bishop g7, knight f6. We're going to take on c6, e5, knight d5 with extra pawn, bishop c4, it's a stronger, short castle is the best, and the long castle. And now bishop b7 sounds good, but I believe that here black is nearly lost because we're playing position with extra pawn. Maybe a queen a5 has still some chances to go, but f4, it's important to block this bishop. Even for a pawn, bishop g2, I believe that this position is still healthy. Now rook e1, bishop f3, and maybe queen a7 with extra pawn, or rook d2. And I don't believe that here is any chance to believe that black's got compensation for missing pawn. Every time we have chance to take on a7 or e7. Here we have a good defender of our king, and with extra pawn we have chance to beat our opponent without any difficulties. So that's the reason that after e5, knight d5, take, bishop c4, short and a long castle is not bad to go d6. And d6 still, I don't believe is great, but here is bishop a7. We are going to attack this rook. Maybe now rook b7, that's extra pawn, so it has to be played bishop e6. Here probably bishop c4 is queen c4 and queen b3 again. With extra pawn, it's good to play this position. Here bishop d4, exchange, and no danger. Two connected pass pawns, not bad endgame at all. Of course, it's too many ways to play this position. I believe that bishop e6, queen d3, and maybe bishop f5, and here queen e2, and for example, sorry, I have to go here, of course, and here is maybe rook b4 and bishop d4. Still interesting and quite exciting position where everything is possible and nothing is impossible, but I believe that in case white is careful, is able to exchange queens or the most active black species, white is absolutely fine and is doing well. So knight d5 exchange, rook b8, long castle, maybe bishop c4, and you know what is funny? Short castle, and if you worry you have chance to play short castle anyway. Just to take on b2 it's a mistake, because you're going to take this exchange as soon as possible, and even this position is not bad with extra pawn, but I believe that much more sharper here is to go for long castle, and the best is queen c7. The right answer is queen c5, maybe to take on e5, take, c3, a5, and rook d5, bishop c7, rook c5, bishop d8, rook b5, and that's exactly what we are looking for. No danger and a really good endgame, because we have pawn majority on queen side. Our aim is to attack this pawn and push our pawns forward, and to go for endgame where we have pass pawns and activity, and just watch maybe this position where black pieces are on the last rank doing nothing, and believe me that here white has an advantage. That's a good position, and now it's everything about your chess style, technique, how you are going to play this position. But if nothing, you have advantage since beginning of the game, and you have advantage because you played the best moves for white in accelerated dragon. So maybe for this reason here, knight bishop g7, and here to take here is best, and here knight g8. I believe in a way what played Garry Kasparov is a bishop d4, and here is a queen a5. That's a double attack of this pawn. And Garry Kasparov played bishop c4, or of course f4 is not bad at all. I believe that f6, queen e2, take bishop e5, knight f6, long castle, short castle, bishop d4, or maybe check here, and bishop d4. It's still a good position for white. That's the main position of our variation, but for the players who are looking for opposite castle position with attacks and counter-attacks, with slight advantage, I believe that's a good. Just imagine maybe rook b8 sounds good, but bishop e2, bishop b7, h4, d6, h5, and I love white's position. White is more active, is going for attack, and I believe that that's exactly the position where you have chance to surprise your opponent, to beat your opponent, to be more active, and to enjoy position. But Garry Kasparov played something different, and here bishop c4, it was interesting option where he is going to sacrifice a pawn. Bishop e5, castle, knight f6, and rook e1. Of course, bishop d4 is queen d4, and that's a threat queen f6, and here white is nearly winning because of short castle is now rook e7, maybe d5 is queen f6, and rook e1 with winning attack. If no winning attack, great position. So that's the style of Garry Kasparov, and so again after queen a5 is a super strong bishop c4, bishop e5, castle, knight f6, rook, maybe d6, but d6 it's not bad because take, here attack this pawn, bishop d7, queen g3, castle, and now rook e5. Let's compare white's pawns and black's pawns. Let's compare white's pieces and black pieces, and let's make a summary. That's a good position for white. You know, it's not hard to play chess like Garry Kasparov. Even you have chance to sacrifice a pawn. I believe that this sacrifice is healthy. And you know, again, e5, knight g8, bishop d4, queen a5, and bishop c4. Anyway, knight h6 is working here, e6. Take here and take here, short castle, take here, and that's a good position, of course, for white. So this position I called Garry Kasparov's line. It's big surprise to our opponent because bishop e5, short castle, knight f6, rook take. You know, black has to be careful, and maybe even he's lost, say, d5, just to take, and checkmate, of course. So let's go for the last variation. Bishop g7, take, e5, knight g8, bishop d4, knight h6. And here we're playing e6. e6 is the key move here, because this bishop on g7 is hanging. Maybe knight f5 and take knight g7, or maybe short castle. I believe that take on g7 is the best. Check here, take on d7, take on d7, and long castle. After bishop f5, maybe bishop c4, and let's check this position. White's pawns are stronger, are without any weakness. So what about black's pawns? a7, c6. There are two weaknesses. Our rook is on open file. We have slight edge, and without knowledge of tones and tones theory, we were able to play 15, 16, 17 moves, and we are able to play this opening as a master. You know, if anything happened, the rest is up to us, but don't blame opening. You have every time's advantage. And let's make a summary. e4, c5, and the main position is here after bishop g7, and here we're going to take on c6. After this exchange, we're playing e5. Knight d5, we're going to take twice, and bishop c4, long or short castle. After knight g8, we're playing bishop d4. Of course, we have to play this move because our pawn is under attack, so bishop d4, and in case of queen a5, we have chance to play f4 or double edge and sharp bishop c4 and short castle. And after knight h6, we're playing e6, and our aim is to go for endgame. So no big difference. Maybe bishop d4 it's the same because here is a rook. So maybe here take, and long castle. I believe that that's a good position for white. Advantage everywhere. And you know, after watching this video, I told you that you are able to have advantage to play this position as a master, and I believe I was right. So if I was right, feel free and press like or press follow and make my day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe watch this video twice, 4 times, 5 times, because this video will show you how to beat the accelerated dragon, or if nothing, how to play this opening as a master. And that's absolutely true. So let's play this opening and let's improve your chess. See you. Bye bye.